It's too much sun. Okay. All right, God. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so happy to see y'all because I have been thinking about making a YouTube video for the past week or so since I released my last video. But this video is going to be a little serious. Yeah, it's going to be a little serious because I'm going to be sharing about something that I've personally just been dealing with as a Black person, not only a Black person, but just a Black student in general. And I think y'all will get the idea of what I'm going to talk about just based on the title of my video that I posted up. So before we get started, y'all know what I gotta do. I gotta hit up Starbucks. I'm back. I'm back with my Starbucks. And I got the salted caramel cold brew. It's low in calories. I highly recommend that you try it if you haven't. It's really good. It's amazing, y'all. It's amazing. But anywho, so if you're just familiar what a PWI is, so a PWI is a predominantly white institution, our campus. And I'm just going to use this video as an outlet for me to just express what it feels like to be a minority on campus in a predominantly white institution. I feel like sometimes, just on a personal level, I'm not represented enough, if you know what I mean. And I feel like I'm always put in the back burner, or I'm always put in the background, or always put in a picture just to say that, hey, we create diversity here on campus and stuff like that. I'm sick of doing that. You get what I'm talking about? I want to not communicate false advertisement to my population here, and I think that is a taste of what I got before I came on campus. So it doesn't really portray what you see on campus, if you understand where I'm coming from. When I first got here, it was kind of like a culture shock for me because I come from a diverse population. I come from a diverse hometown where it mostly consists of Hispanics and Blacks. So coming here was definitely different for me. I felt like I didn't feel comfortable right away when I got here. I just didn't feel comfortable. But one thing I can say about Appalachian in general is that they are welcoming. There are very friendly people here. It's really weird because people are friendly here. It's so scary that people are friendly. I frequently get questions about my hair and the way I style it and stuff. You know me, I always wear box braids just because I love the style, and it's a protective hairstyle, so it's just my vibe. It's something I vibe with. And a lot of people ask me about my hair. I'm personally not offended when people ask me questions when you're generally curious about it. I can tell when someone's generally curious about it, and I love answering those people who have those questions and stuff like that. But I also can point out people who's just trying to make insults. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you personally just don't feel comfortable just sitting and watching this video, I will give you the permission to leave. But also, I'm just here to educate people about how I feel. So if you don't feel comfortable, you can leave. You can hit the door, you can just leave, and I'll wait here for you to leave. I'll wait. Are you gone? So another thing that I have noticed is that the food here, it has no seasoning. I mean, I'm not saying that the food is disgusting, but the food is actually pretty good, but it's just not what I'm familiar with. I'm ugh, this is a different taste. This is very unique. Need a little salt and pepper, but sometimes that just doesn't do. Yeah, it doesn't do. I get stared at quite often here on campus, and I know I've shared this to a lot of my friends, and sometimes it get really annoying. I can just be walking to class. I can be walking to the dining hall and I see about like 5 or 4 people just staring at me. And it's just really uncomfortable. Like I already feel like I don't belong here. And just to have someone constantly stare at you, it's like, ugh, it's like, like, I came here to get my education, not for people to drill me down with their eyes. Do you get where I'm coming from? So I am still trying to work through that. I know people are just like, generally like, I must be really beautiful or something, because it's I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's just I guess that's just a personal issue. If you're a black girl or a black woman here on campus, it's going to be hard for you to find love. I mean, it might be easier for you, but for me personally, most of the guys that I have encountered are mostly into white girls. I mean, it's gonna be hard for a black girl here to find love, like, because most of the guys here is just looking for a lighter skin complexion. I hate this. I really do hate this. I hate this so much with a burning passion. So like I said in my last video, that I'm a RA. So a RA is basically a resident assistant, and I oversee quite a few people, and I have certain tasks that I have to do. That goes along with my job, such as conducting meeting and addressing to residents' concerns they may have or questions they may have. And quite often, I feel like people, and it's not necessary, sometimes it's not necessary to residents, but I feel like people question my authority. I know I'm a black woman in this position, and it probably doesn't have nothing to do with the fact that I'm black, but I just hate when people question, like, everything that I do. Like, why do you even walk up to me if you're just not confident with the answer you're going to get or receive from me? You get where I'm coming from? So I get that quite often, and people just question me. Okay, another issue of mine. It's not much of an issue, but my music taste is different. I'm very aware of that, and I feel like oh my goodness, I feel bad for laughing, but I feel like some people don't match my vibe as when it comes down to music taste. That's maybe I shouldn't put that in there. There's a lot of things I wanted to talk about, and there's a few terms that I want to share to y'all, such as microaggression, colorism, intentional or unconscious bias. So if you don't know what microaggressions are, so microaggressions is basically a statement that may be indirect or unintentional, used to criticize or discriminate another race other than yours. I have dealt with so many microaggressions here, just being a black person. One girl asked me if I wear sunscreen, and I know that's not bad, but yes, I do wear sunscreen whenever I need to, because I like to protect my skin, So yeah, what else? Like, there's a lot of microaggressions. Someone told me I'm pretty for a black girl. Why can't I just be pretty? You get what I'm talking about? Like, you get what I'm talking about. Why can't I just be pretty? Another thing is, why do I sound white? And it's not that I hear this from like white people, but I hear this mostly coming from my race. People are like, I sound right. Like, what does sounding white mean? Can you let me know what sounding white means? And the idea of colorism, I think I often get judged by my own race sometimes. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, and I think it's because I'm just a darker skin tone. I think there are some people that are unaware of their privilege they have as with the lighter skin tone. So if you have no idea what colorism is basically just being prejudiced against your own race, typically towards those who have a darker skin complexion. And I do see this quite often. I do understand that some black women like to bleach their skin to make them appear lighter, because that's what scientists stereotypical standards of beauty. Like, people want to just have a lighter skin tone, want to appeal attractive, but believe it or not, just being yourself is attractive, being confident, and you do not have to brighten your skin. Understand, like, people just want to, like, do it just to do it, but I don't know, like, see, where was I was on the idea of colorism. I think I explained that pretty good. So unintentional bias is basically just someone who's just not aware of, like, what they say that may be, like, very offensive, such as that suggestion I made about sunscreen. Like, someone asked me if I even have to wear sunscreen. Like, that can be a little, like, unintentional bias in there, and that has nothing to do with, like, that's just because of where you were raised and stuff like that. Like, everyone has unintentional bias. I do. Like, I grew up in a household where religion was based in, like, I grew up in the church, and of course, like, I have my biases, of course, and sometimes I say stuff that can be a little offensive. Like, I think everyone has those days where they say one thing and don't really think much about it. That can be very offensive towards someone else. So yeah. An intentional bias is just, you're basically just being rude, and like, you intentionally just want to be rude towards a particular marginalized group, which is very, very disrespectful. So I just want to thank y'all for taking the time out to just hear my story and hearing me how I feel. I know that I was a little bit everywhere, because it is hard to put into a concise wording of how I really feel, because I know that because it's like not many people understand. If you have a question about, like, I just don't understand. Imagine this. I'm pretty sure you imagine this. Imagine feeling like no one likes you, basically. Feeling like you don't belong somewhere, like you're in a secluded area and you're looking around and you don't see anyone. You just don't feel like you belong here, like you feel out of place. If you can, like, imagine what that feels like, that's basically what it feels like to be a minority in a PWI. And now I have a lot of people who say, like, hey, Quadeja, like, what can I do to support your community? I know that y'all are going through a lot. But to believe it or not, it's very self-evident of what to do. If you're a white person, if you are a white person, the first step you need to do is recognize your privilege. Recognize that you have more benefits than your Black counterparts. So do you get where I'm coming from? Like, understand that, hey, I have more privilege than my Black friends. I have more privilege than my Black sisters and brothers. Do you get where I'm coming from? That's the first step. The second step is understanding, getting information, doing your research, understanding these certain terms. And the first step is listening from different listening to minority stories. If you can't listen to people's stories, then what is the point of you supporting that group? Listen to people's stories. You get where I'm coming from? And the third step is take action. Don't talk the talk, but talk the walk, if you know what I'm saying. Apply action to your words. Sign up for a campaign, sign a petition. Oh my goodness. Why? What the heck? Sign a petition. Donate if you can to different organizations who are helping sharing Black stories, such as the Equal Justice Initiative. Just show your support. Be present. Don't hold back your silence. Silence is just being incompetent, to be honest. Like, I know there's a lot of people who be like, oh, I don't want to be offensive and stuff, but I just don't want to feed into this drama. I understand you don't want to feed into the drama, but this is the time. Like 2020 is the worst time to get on everyone's bad side. You get where I'm coming from. Don't get on. Just 2020 is not the year to play when it comes to racism. And another thing I also wanted to talk about, how it's really funny how being black is such a trend. Like, people want to be black. And it's kind of just disheartening to look at, if you get where I'm coming from. Like, this is our culture, you know. This is the world that we lived in, where people, first of all, discriminate each other, and then secondly, try to imitate that certain culture. Please do not try to attempt a culture appropriation. In fact, try to aim for culture appreciation, where you're actually understanding and knowing and being well aware of the knowledge in our backgrounds, being aware of different perspectives. I think the goal here, if anything from this video, I want y'all to understand what it's like to be unliked, to feel like you don't feel like you're not deserved, feel like you're not loved, feel like you're raised in a world where no one understands you. That's the point of this video, is to get an insight of different people's stories and sharing black stories. I just want to say that this is just only from my perspective. I'm not here to throw anyone under the water. I'm just like, I didn't call anyone out in particular. Like, I just wanted to share my perspective on the subject. I feel like I might get slandered. But I just want to share my story. I really try to like make this video as short as possible, but it's almost reaching 30 minutes. So I'm gonna have to cut a lot of stuff out, and that's gonna be a lot of editing. Yeah, so I'm about to end the video. I just want to say thank y'all for whoever watched my last video. Thank you for watching it. I got so much feedback on social media. A lot of people from my friends and stuff like that. I want to thank you for that support. A lot of people have been just telling me, I know with COVID going on, it's a lot of stuff, but I've just been getting a lot of feedback and a lot of positivity on my social media accounts, and I really do appreciate that. If you love this video, if you love hearing me talk, please give this a thumbs up. You know, show your girls some support, leave a comment, and of course, subscribe, because why wouldn't you subscribe? I know you want to see more of this girl. Like, this is only just the beginning for me. You get where I'm coming from. So, you know, subscribe. Like, subscribe. So, thank you again for everything you do. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.